भी न जाने वो भी न जाने, नैनों के रंग नैना जाने, मिला जो संग तेरा उड़ा पतंग मेरा हवा में होके मलंग। जग की कोई रीत न जाने, मैं तो बस तेरी हुई दीवानी, मिला जो संग तेरा उड़ा पतंग मेरा हवा में होके मलंग। मैं छोड़ा ही घर बार मेरा ओ मखना वे मखना, तू ही है संसार मेरा ओ मखना वे मखना, ये पागल सा है प्यार मेरा ओ मखना वे मखना। मैं छोड़ा ही घर बार मेरा ओ मखना, छोड़ा ही घर बार मेरा ओ मखना वे मखना, तू ही है संसार मेरा ओ मखना वे मखना, ये पागल सा है प्यार मेरा ओ मखना वे मखना। मैं छोड़ा ही घर बार मेरा ओ मखना।
तेरी ही बातें हो सुबह सी रातें हो, जब से मिला है तू दिल को मिला सुकून। तू ही राह मेरी तू ही सफर है, तेरी बाहों में अब मेरा घर है।
चैन न जाने दर्द न जाने, दिल तो बस दिल को पहचाने, मिला जो संग तेरा उड़ा पतंग मेरा हवा में होके मलंग। छोड़ा ही
Welcome to Dia and Pulkit's wedding reception. So my name is Sean, and I have the unique honour of knowing both Dia and Pulkit separately before they actually first even met. So yeah, Dia is my older cousin. She is the jewel of the Pacheco family. She has always led the way and been a mentor of mine and someone to help lend a helping hand and guide me. And Pulkit I actually met when I was a baby first year university student, and he was in his final year at UNSW, hell-bent on corrupting me. And so you can imagine my surprise when he started dating my cousin. What can you do? So first off, just a virus-sized elephant in the room to address. As we all know, you might notice some empty seats here and there just around. Unfortunately, COVID has reared its ugly head again this week. So Dia and Pulkit and their families, they wanted to prioritise the safety and well-being of all of their guests. And so that meant that some of our guests won't be here tonight. But we want you all to be as safe and as happy as possible to celebrate with us, and celebrate we shall. So just a bit of housekeeping before we finally kick off. Bathrooms are off to my left, and there is a photo booth actually to my right to capture your memories of tonight. Feel free to take a photo or 2 or 10. And so please also visit the grandparents table to my right, just for sentimental value. And finally now, to kick off the night, please be on your feet as we welcome the bridal party, beginning with Auntie Sheila and Uncle Gerard.
Oh malhão, malhão, que vida é a tua? Oh malhão, malhão, que vida é a tua? E comer e beber.
Groom's parents, Victor and Kapil.
तेरी मेरी नी कहानी गल छेड़ा कोई पुरानी, आजा बैठ ता सही तू मेरे कोल नी। तेरे नखरे अदामा तेनू याद करवावां, जदों करदे हुंदे सी जोड़ मोड़ नी। तेरी मेरी नी कहानी गल छेड़ा कोई पुरानी, आजा बैठ ता सही तू मेरे कोल नी। तेरे नखरे अदामा तेनू याद करवावां, जदों करदे हुंदे सी जोड़ मोड़ नी।
And now we have our sister of the groom, Somya.
हे दीवाना है देखो बेकरार वो, संभालो संभालो ना प्यार हो, अपना बना के देखो दिल न चुरा ले वो, ऐसा क्यों लगे है बोलो ना। झुम चिक चिक झुम तुम बोलो है वो कौन जो बार बार ये दिल खोता है देख के उसको।
झुम चिक चिक झुम तुम बोलो है वो कौन जो बार बार ये दिल खोता है देख के उसको।
And finally, the moment we've all been waiting for, Dia and Pulkit.
Yeah, all I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they say there. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there.
Ludacris going in on the verse cause I never been defeated and I won't stop now. Keep your hands
What
up,
an
keep it
entrance.
for the homies that ain't making it
Let's
won't
give it up
stop
for the
now.
bride and
I
groom.
went nowhere. What they saying, Ludacris.
Now good. All right, we will get the bridal party to please line up just for a quick series of photos. And then they will take their seats. Say cheese. And I did promise you a couple of toasts, so we will kick things off with the parents of the bride, Uncle Gerard and Auntie Sheila.
I'm going to use sheets of paper because I'm afraid I'm going to get emotional halfway through the speech. As the father of the bride, I have the dubious pleasure of making the first speech and welcoming you to the wedding of my beautiful daughter Dia and the handsome Pulkit. I am the warm-up act for the star speakers later tonight. We always start slow with the older people to build up to the highlight of the evening, which I know is the dancing. That's what Dia tells me. So bear with me. I'm going to try keeping it short. I have a daughter who project managed the whole wedding. And when I say project managed, there was an Excel spreadsheet with 43 tabs and a Gantt chart, all interlinked. I had no idea how it worked, but it worked. And besides, as everyone who has a daughter knows, a daughter can get a father to do anything she wants him to. I was told I have 5 minutes to say nice things about her, no dad jokes, and no useless facts. Our best father-daughter bonding time has been the long drive to school every morning. The result was that I subjected Dia to what I considered useful knowledge and forced her to listen to 60s and 70s music on WSFM. At least something good came out of it, a love of real music, not... I can't resist a morsel of useless information though. Planning a wedding is one of the top 10 most stressful life events on the Holmes and Ross scale. The researchers did not factor in a pandemic, uncertain La Nina, and the couple moving to overseas within 5 days. If they had done that all together, it would have been beyond the scale. To get to this day, I must give all credit to the resilient Dia and Pulkit, to Kapil and Ritu, and my beautiful wife, Sheila. Thank you for getting us to this day. I had an important role staying out of the way and outsourcing everything. A useful lesson to learn, stay out of the way, Pulkit. They say time flies when you're having a great time, and how the years have flown by, Dia. The moment I laid eyes on you when you were born and held you in my arms, I was in love. Being your dada has been and continues to be a joy. There is no love greater than the love of a parent for their child. You love them more than anything in the world, and you would do anything to protect them. And dear, while Mama and I don't hold your hand anymore, remember we always have your back. Many more milestones later and wonderful memories have been made along the way until today, your wedding day. We always hope to teach you to love others, to be kind and compassionate, thoughtful, and be aware of those less fortunate. We are beyond proud of the woman you are today. And to cap it all, we are so happy that you have found love. As I look at this beautiful bride and my daughter, I can't help but reflect on the girl she was and the woman she has become. She became Dada's girl on the day she was born and has always been a princess to me. All through your life, you have brought nothing but endless joy to Mama and me. I am so lucky to be called your father. You are everything that I would have hoped for but dared not dream of. Now I'm going to, Dia knows there's a particular song she surprised me this morning with. It's a song I heard while in a taxi in New York on the 25th of January 1995 when Dia was an infant. It was Bob Carlyle's Butterfly Kisses, and I remember the day like it was yesterday. It ends with when the bride walks down the aisle though. While the song is notionally about fatherhood, it's more than that, it's about gratitude. I'm going to read to you my favorite lines. Oh, with all that I've done wrong, I must have done something right to deserve her love every morning and butterfly kisses every night. Thank you, dear, for being you. Today you're Pulkit's wife, and in addition to the sparkle I've seen in your eyes, I now see love and joy there beyond anything I have seen this far. You have completed each other as you become a new family unit. Pulkit, thank you for showing her the love you have for her, for making her happy, and don't cry, dear, and making her smile more radiantly than ever before. Smile. There are two lasting gifts that we can give our children. The first is roots, and the second is wings. We always wanted to give you a strong foundation and a consistent support system. But we always wanted you to grow wings so that you would one day go and build a life of your own. Today, I hope we have fulfilled our end of the promise. They say marriages are made in heaven, but so are thunder and lightning. All these things have something else in common. They are all powerful. Two people in a strong marriage are a force to be reckoned with. Dia, take it from me. Dia and Pulkit, take it from me. From someone who knows you are better and stronger together. A wedding toast, I've been told, must contain some advice. My advice is simple. You are two remarkable individuals, and together you have become an even more amazing couple. Love constantly, accuse slowly, forgive quickly, be each other's best friends, and share everything. Dia and Pulkit, I know that you do not need to tell me to tell you to take care of each other. I know you both will to the best of your abilities. Mama and I love you with all of our hearts forever and always. And we wish both of you the best memory in your new life together. Please join me in raising your glasses, my glasses somewhere else, to wish Dia and Pulkit the very best always. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. Hold it close to my own.
If you don't know me, I'm Sheila Perez de Silva, also known as Sheila Pacheco to some, and to some Miss Perez. But today, I proudly carry the title of Mother of the Bride. And I thank you so much for joining us as Dia and Pulkit start their new family together. A wedding day is a special day that most young girls begin to think and dream about and plan long before the actual event. Dia has had so many ideas about how she wanted to spend this special day celebrating her love with her best friend, Pulkit, but only some have become a reality. But, testament to her generous and thoughtful spirit, she allowed us to have so many of our friends to celebrate her special day. In Goa, a wedding celebration includes the entire village. A son or daughter of the village belongs to every one of the village families. It is the warm, genuine affection of people who know the bride or the groom's parents or grandparents, and that's what makes a wedding memorable. Thank you for coming to show your love and support for Diya and Pulkit, whether you have traveled from near or far to celebrate with us. A wedding day should be the happiest day in a parent's life, and while we are elated indeed, it cannot compare to the moment when our Diya came into the world. True to her name, Diya, which means lamp in Hindi, ever since that day, our Diya has lit up our lives. We feel so blessed every day that she is our daughter. Diya, you have been Dada's and my greatest treasure. Now, Diya and Pulkit, you must be each other's greatest treasure. As parents, we hope that Diya would marry someone who would love her as much as we love her, and we can now see a young man who does just that. Diya, you have brought us so much of joy. I'm so grateful for every laugh we've shared, our holidays together, for the strong and loving mother and daughter relationship that we are blessed with. And I believe that you know that we love you unconditionally. We love that you believe in the value of books, your respect for education and learning, your care for the marginalized, your integrity, and most of all, your good humor. It's been a great joy to watch you become the person we dreamed of raising, and Dada and I couldn't be prouder of the compassionate, strong woman you've grown to be. Pulkit, I also know that you know what a wonderful woman you've married. Diya is so full of love, life, adventure, laughter, and joy. I'm excited for the two of you and the adventures that lie ahead as you explore your lives together deeply and fully. Pulkit came over to ask our permission for Diya's hand in marriage, and that was very sweet. And I know that it took a lot of courage and respect from him, and it was very hard too. It showed us how much love and respect he has for Diya. So I would like to recognize what a fine job Ritu and Kapil have done in raising a beautiful boy. Pulkit has proved to be a fine young man and a good balance for Diya. And I'm so glad that they have found each other. I would like to say that Gerard and I are very happy to welcome you, Pulkit, Ritu, Kapil, and Somya into our family. Now for some advice for Diya and Pulkit. I like to think that you have learned that some values are important. Commitment, love, loyalty, being there are at the center of everything. Uplift each other, encourage each other, and help one another to be the best versions of yourself. Love doesn't say, this is what I want from you. Love says, I want you. Always hold each other as more important than any other person, place, or object. Take time to compliment each other's good points. Spend no time in pointing out faults. I love the way you laugh together. Keep laughing throughout your marriage. It will lighten your days and help you through difficult times. And Diya, when you feel overwhelmed, draw on the strengths that you have learned in our home. Swim hard against the current and remember whose daughter you are. You know, when Diya was little, she would only let certain people carry her. She would only let some people hold her. And I remember how she would not allow her godma Sandy, who she loved and who loved her so dearly, to push her up the slopes on the way to the grotto at Lourdes. And she was only an infant. And there was me with my asthma, wheezing away, and she wanted me to wheel her stroller. She was only 9 months old. But even though Diya always wanted me to hold her, I, in turn, never wanted to let her go. I wish I could turn back the clock, just hold you like my little girl again, because you never wanted to go to anyone else. And now, as I watch you go with Pulkit, I know I'm ready to let you go. And now to the toast. Our gospel teaches us that three things last forever: faith, hope, and love. Diya and Pulkit, we toast your faith in God and in each other. We toast to the hope we have in your bright future. We toast to the love that you have for each other. I ask you all, along with family and friends who would have been with us if Australian borders were open, to raise a glass to the bride and groom, to Pulkit and Diya. Cheers!
Wowee. Let's give it up again for the parents of the bride. Beautiful.
Good evening, family and friends. I'd like to begin with thanking the God Almighty for this wonderful day. We welcome our dearest Diya to our family with all our hearts. So blessed to have you as a part of the Talwar family. Many congratulations to our amazing son Pulkit and our super amazing Diya. Many congratulations to dear Sheila and Jerry and their families. Pulkit, you are our pride and joy. We as parents have seen you grow from strength to strength, and today we see you as a loving, caring, respectful, and a successful young man. As our firstborn, you gave us that boundless joy and happiness and almost ruled our lives like the prince for the next 11 and a half years. Then came your sister, and you became a brother, the big brother, bossy and amazing. That's what Soumya says. Bossy? Not really? Well, Soumya says, yes, he is. Remember when you used to babysit Soumya for us? And you made her do all your household chores assigned to you by telling her that you would give her some extra soft drink with her pizza. But soon you became partners in crime and accomplices. Remember on one of the Mother's Day, you both tried to cook pancakes for me and burnt them all? And then while Soumya was cleverly entertaining us with her stories, you sneaked to the nearest McDonald's and got pancakes. 3 for 2 deal, might I add. And you claimed that you cooked them together. And today, you are her best friend, who she confides in and secretly can go and tell that she's dropped her phone and broken. And then you come the same day, you come home with a new iPhone, and you say, to us, you say, I just wanted to surprise her. This is her pre-birthday gift. She loves and enjoys all your pampering. We are so proud of you and admire the young man you are today, loving, caring, respectful, responsible, and showing your gratitude to what we do for you. Thank you for bringing Diya to our lives. We would not have been able to find a better match for you. She is a lovely, fine woman who has made her way straight into our hearts with her genuine love, compassion, her simplicity, and her high thinking. Dear Diya and Pulkit, the credit goes to Sheila and Jerry as well. Diya and Pulkit, you both complement each other and bring that balance which is essential for a blissful marriage. Because if love is blind, as they say, marriage can be an eye-opener. It's not the same deal, my dear. It's a whole lot different. You need a lot of unconditional love, loads of generosity towards each other, and lots of forgiving. Diya and Pulkit, always stay in love, fall in love again and again with each other for new reasons every day. We love you all both so, so much. God bless you both always. And I want to once again thank all our lovely family and friends who are joining us today to celebrate this wonderful day with us. And a very special thank you to all our family overseas who've been connecting with us virtually and celebrating with us. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the evening. Congratulations.
Thank you. Let's give it up again for the parents of the groom. Alrighty, now that we've gotten all of the sentimental stuff out of the way, let's bring on down some of Dia and Pulkit's close friends. We'll next have a toast from Dia's close friend, Ria.
I'm not crying, you guys are. Thanks for that. I didn't needed that right before my speech. That was beautiful. Thank you so much. That was great. Hello everyone, my name is Ria. I am one of Dia's friends from university, for those of you who don't know, or for those of you who have been through us this week of events, you might have heard of Ria Auntie. That was me. I was tasked to explain all the Indian traditions and rituals to all of Dia's non-Indian friends, including Dia, because she didn't know half the things she was doing during this week. So I hope I have succeeded in the task that was given to me. Speaking of Dia, can we just give a huge round of applause to how lovely she looks tonight? Like, oh my God, beautiful, gorgeous, just stunning. The most beautiful bride I have ever seen. You look amazing, radiant, and glowing. So great. Dia and I met almost 10 years ago now in first year of law school. I think the first semester we weren't really that close friend. I didn't think I liked her that much at that spot, I'm not sure. But we didn't really hang out. But I think it was the last semester of first year where we were in torts together, and the torts professor kept calling me Dia and kept calling her Ria. So you can imagine the confusion two brown girls with very similar name had for him. And I think that's how the friendship kind of started for us. And I'm really, really happy that it did. And I have a great friend in my life because of that. I think since we've met, we've been through a lot of ups and downs, you know, countless hours of studying at the UNAS W. Gotlam place. Trying to teach Dia Hindi so we can jam to some Bollywood music together or get her to watch some Bollywood movies with me. And I can say she's come a long way since she's started dating Pulkit, so well done to Pulkit as well for that. And now it's time for Punjabi. So you're fluent at Hindi, I guess, now, but now the in-laws can teach you and Soumya can teach you some Punjabi. We, as Auntie Sheila said, we love planning hypothetical weddings together. So first year of uni, none of us really had any long-term boyfriends or crushes at the time, but we will sit in our long break and plan our weddings together because we thought, why not do that? We even created a Shaadi.com profile for Dia. So for those of you who don't know, Shaadi.com is a dating website for Indian South Asian, where Shaadi literally means marriage. So you're going on that profile or that website to find a bride or a groom or a husband or a wife. And to all of our surprises, even though we didn't upload a photo of Dia, we still got about 15 matches just from the description we had put on there. So Pulkit, even if you weren't be around, Dia had a lot of matches even before people saw her. So it's just thought I'll let you know that. And from all the time that I've spent with Dia, I know she's a very special and a dear friend to me who loves her cheese. In fact, she actually has an Instagram page dedicated to cheese. So I think tonight, if you all go on Instagram and search for Pacheco Reno, and let's make sure we give her lots of followers before the end of tonight. her endless love for Excels and planning, which Uncle Jerry has already mentioned, which drove all of us crazy. We could not plan a trip with her without an Excel sheet, so she was always the one planning and doing all the project managing. Her love for a good personality test. I don't know if a lot of people know that. I was actually very surprised that Dia didn't make all of us do the Myers-Briggs personality test before we were allowed to RSVP here tonight. But most importantly, Dia is a kind, wonderful, thoughtful, and a caring person who has been for me always. Dia, I'm so glad that you have found someone who will always be there for you in Pulkit, and you deserve nothing but happiness. As for Pulkit, can we also give him a huge round of applause? He looks very handsome, very dashing. Not as great as Jack, no, I'm not kidding. Pulkit, I was trying to remember how we were first introduced or how we met. So for that, last night I was trying to write this speech and I went back to the Facebook messages from 2016 when Dia first told us about this random guy that she has a crush on. By the way, there is a Facebook group between myself, Dia, and one of our other dear friends, Anvi, who couldn't be here today because she's a close contact. And the name of the Facebook group is literally called Boys, Boys, Boys. So you can imagine what we talk about on that group. And I'm sorry, Dia, I have screenshotted few messages and I'll have to read them tonight and embarrass you a little bit. So, 4th of September 2016, Anvi, which is our other friend, she writes a message in the group, all caps by the way, so I'm going to try not to be dramatic. She goes, oh my god, I just figured it out. Dia has a type in men. We were like, okay, all right, sure. To that, Dia writes, no, my type changes with fashion. I guess we've got a bit of a player here. And to that I said, oh yeah, what is it? You know, I'm curious, let me know. And Anvi replies, Dia's type is tall Punjabi guy with glasses. So far it's going well for Pulkit. And this is an actual message from 2016, and to which I just replied, bale bale. Jumping to late September, early October, and I think this was when you and Anvi, Dia, were on your trip to South America. Anvi sends a message in the group again, says, FYI Ria, I've got an update. She thinks she might start to like him. And at this point, you know, we don't have a name, it's just a him, this Punjabi tall guy that Dia has a little crush on. And again, these are her words, not mine, so sorry about this, Pulkit. Her words were, he's growing on me, but still tentative because he gives me possible douchebag vibes. Again, Dia's words, not mine. But she follows it by, he just needs to man up and ask me out. So, Pulkit, as you can see, there was a lot of support from me and Anvi, encouraging her with, you know, great advice, like I think there's a message from me in there somewhere, just date him for fun, you don't have to marry him. And little do we know, here we are today, almost 7-8 years after, and at your wedding day. So it was really special to be part of your journey since day one, and we were always leading Dia to like, cute, he's cute, date him. So yeah, I can go on forever reading those screenshots, and they get particularly PG after this, so I'm going to stop embarrassing Dia now. But yes, that is how I was introduced to Pulkit through several all caps messages and a lot of Snapchats followed by that, so that was great. But no, when I really actually met Pulkit in real life, we truly bonded over our love for classic Akshay Kumar, Bollywood music, Hera Fairy, and Pani Puri, but he incorrectly pronounces that Golgappe. It's Pani Puri, sorry Pulkit. But the best part about meeting him was seeing how much he liked Dia, and it was obvious that they were meant to be together. In the years that Dia and Pulkit have been together, I can see how much Pulkit cares for Dia, and I hope the two of them bring each other all the happiness in the world. To end, I just want to voice a sentiment which I'm sure that everyone in the room tonight is feeling. Dia and Pulkit, We wish you all the very best for what London holds for you. He is hoping there are many European holidays filled with cheese and Formula One racing. Congratulations, we will miss you and come back soon. Thank you. Sorry, I had to.
How good. Ria bringing the heat. There's nothing we love more than a good wedding roast. So let's give it up. Another round of applause, actually. Yeah, well done, Ria. And for our final toast for this part of the evening, we will welcome Dia's school friends, Carol and Jazzy.
All right. Hey guys, sorry, that was really hard to follow. Thanks so much for that, Ria. I'm Jazzy and this is Carol, and we're Dia's high school friends from PLC. In the time we've known her, Dee has really grown from a little girl to, I'd say a little girl still. Sorry, Dee. Yeah, high school friends. We've really introduced the whole Asian kind of group to this whole wedding. Thanks so much for giving us an opportunity to finally experience an Indian wedding and get to finally wear all this colourful clothing, which I don't think we would have gotten before. So thank you, and thanks. We'll keep this short because I know everyone's looking forward to their wonderful Indian food, which I've never tried half of this stuff before either. Thank you. All jokes aside, Dee, you've grown to be such an amazing, strong, brilliant woman, and everything you do in life, all your energy is so inspiring, and at times kind of exhausting for me because I'm a little bit lazy, sorry. And yeah, do you remember those sprints for the school train every day? Yep, that energy, you're still full of it, and that's incredible, Dee. I'm so glad that aspects like your caring and kind and loving nature really haven't changed over the years. You've kept that up ever since I've known you for 15 years. And that's why everyone's here and everyone loves you, Dee. So thank you.
So I'm just going to echo some of what Jazzy said, but we're so lucky to call you one of our closest friends. You've always provided a shoulder for us to lean on. You provided a little red camera during school to capture all of our memories, even when we didn't want them to be captured. And now tonight you've provided a reason for us to get dressed up in our lehengas and live out our Bollywood dreams. So thanks for that. We're so glad to be part of your special day. It really doesn't seem that long ago when we were in year 8 maybe, and you started planning this wedding. You know, we would be sitting on Sunken Lawn complaining about how our English department has made us read yet another Jane Austen novel, because that's all we ever read. And you were definitely talking about this wedding already, and all you needed was, you know, the Mr. Darcy to your Liz Bennet, the Romeo to your Juliet, the Ron to your Hermione. So, Phuket, all you had to do was show up, so thanks for that.
I'm not sure how many of you guys know this, but on their first date, Dee hit Phuket with the 36 questions to fall in love, which, for any of you that have actually done that, that's quite confronting. It's like for a long-term relationship and no doubt a first date. So any guy that can stand that for a first date is really a keeper, so well done, Dee. Phuket, we're so glad that you can cook, because I was honestly worried about Dee since she can't really handle herself in the kitchen. So it's really good to know that we'll be able to rely on you for when you go to the UK, and that she'll be well fed to feel all that energy. And Dee, to balance off, I'm assuming, PK, you might be a little bit like me, but I didn't prepare this speech till we were in the car on the drive here. So, like, having Dee beside you, really good job, man. Every time we hang out with you guys, we see how considerate you are of each other and how loving and just bubbly you are. And I love the vibes about you. Then you guys are such an attractive couple, honestly. It's such a cute and attractive couple. We love you guys. So cheers to the new couple.
We're going to wrap up shortly, but Dia always gave me dating advice, even when we were like 12. But back then, the advice was her asking me my crush's star sign and her figuring it out on astrology.com if we were compatible. So in return today, I've got some marriage advice for you guys. I'm not married, this is just from the internet. Most of this is targeted at Pulkit because I've got Dia's back. So there are 2 rules for a happy marriage. The first rule is your wife is always right. Rule number 2 is when you think you're right, just remember rule number 1. The next piece of advice is if at first you don't succeed, try doing it the way Dia told you to. And lastly, everyone knows happy wife, happy life. But if you're ever looking for people to spoil, remember happy friends, happy wife, and then happy life. So here's to the happy couple, Dia and Pulkit. Please raise a glass with us. Cheers.
Well, firstly, thank you, Sean. Great emceeing, and thank you for putting us on notice for exactly 10 minutes. We promise we won't be a second more, but thank you. Perhaps before we get started, I'm going to give a toast from Saya, Pulkit's best man. He's unfortunately a bit unwell, so he isn't able to come today. But this is a very short toast. Both Dia and Pulkit, you've been such a good role model for everyone. The first to move out, you maintained a long-distance relationship when Dia was in Singapore. You supported each other through career changes. You bought a house, and now you're starting a new life overseas. Not many can achieve all of these, and I wish you both the very best. From Saya. All right, so now our speech. So hi everyone, I'm Bav. I'm one of the groomsmen, and I'm lucky to call both Pulkit and Dia my friend. I met Pulkit at uni at UNSW, and Dia and I worked together at BCG.
All right, and hi, I'm Ching. So as Sean said, I brought those 2 together, so you can owe this dinner to me. I'm Pulkit's honorary groomswoman. Yeah, and basically Pulkit was my first proper friend at uni, and then this became a whole series of late night KFC trips where we'd basically do stakeouts in front of drug dealers' houses, just to risk our lives a little bit. So, what Bav and I wanted to do is, since you've heard so much about Dia's side of the story, Bav and I are really here to embarrass Pulkit tonight, and, Dia is now safe.
Mostly safe.
Mostly safe. All right, so let's go back to the beginning of how it all started. So, I want to take us back on a walk on memory lane and just imagine Pulkit and Dia being back at uni. So back at uni, if you know Pulkit well, you would have known that he was a very hardworking student. Very serious kind of guy, topped a few courses that he lists on his LinkedIn. Biggest achievement of his life. Very serious there, just, very, very serious, hardworking kid. And then Dia as well, also very serious, hardworking student. The photo on the left there is probably her stabbing her friend to try and get the top mark in her course, I think. But then this all changed when Pulkit and Dia met at uni. So I think this is the very first photo they actually have together. They met at this society called 180 Degrees Consulting. And just to give you a little bit of context behind Pulkit, so because Pulkit was so hardworking and so busy at uni, he never actually showed up to our 180 Degrees events. But one day I told him, I was like, hey, I met this girl called Dia. She's really pretty and really kind and really fun at a BCG thing. And she said that she wanted to join 180. Suddenly, Pulkit started showing up to all the 180 events. So let me just show you a few examples of what happened when Dia came into our lives. The pursuit. Well, with Pulkit not wanting to go to any events at all, this is actually one of the times when we had a PowerPoint workshop for 180, and Pulkit had never gone to one of these events before. And I was like to him, I was like, fine, don't come. You know, I've got Eric like doing it with me anyways. And he goes in caps, no, I want to do it, sigh. Actually, don't worry, I'll sit next to Dia and help her with it, smiley face. Another example. So you can't really see this well, but to explain it a little bit, at 180 we had a mentoring program. It was a very, very light touch program where basically we had students who'd come together and do 1, maybe 2 coffee chats, nothing more. And basically, as students of the society, you got to assign yourself to other students. Logged in one day and I saw Pulkit had diligently mapped Dia next to him, just silently without telling anyone. And then he proceeded to just have weekly coffee catch-ups with Dia as a part of the mentoring program. So I think he either just really, really loved the hot chocolates at Max Brenner, or he thought that she's a unicorn. Is that you? Oh, and. So Pulkit had to work really hard to get Dia. And, he then went from a hard-working student to basically a gym enthusiast before and after. Now, if you want to follow his workout progress, there is a Facebook page called Wish I Had Massive Arms, like Pulkit Tower. It's still up. So if you want to follow the group, go on Facebook.
So after the pursuit, there was the relationship. And like many relationships, this one started with a few nerves. So for context, Thea had just joined BCG, and I was getting texts in the middle of the day from Pulkit. He was, hey, you need to help me, Bav. You got to keep all the attractive guys away from her. I'm counting on you. Luckily, a month later, those nerves calmed down, and he was texting me, I'm probably in love with this idiot. That's Pulkit's way of showing his love. And from Dia, I got some really sweet texts as well. Some pictures of Pulkit, very happy, and her texting, as long as he's happy, I'm happy. So sweet. And honestly, this is like the theme of what I've seen in their whole relationship. They've really made each other happy throughout the years, and they keep sending me photos of how happy they are. So yeah, I really enjoy all the selfies you guys send. But it's amazing to see how much they support one another, how much joy they bring each other, and how much they've grown together over the years. They've grown so much that we're able to get through working from home together, with some working harder than others. And Pulkit was sending me very jealous photos of how Thea was slacking throughout COVID. And they bring out the best in one another. So as we've heard throughout tonight, Thea is an organizational czar. And Pulkit can also be very disorganized, and Ching will share an anecdote soon. But there, I'm not sure you can see very well, but Thea's made a color-coded spreadsheet. This one, I believe, is part of their personal life management, but Thea's brought the best of her BCG project management skills to their relationship. And this wedding is a great example of that. She was proudly showing me the template that she had made for herself in order to create personalized slide decks for every stakeholder at this wedding. So, yeah, Pulkit has brought out the best in you.
So with Dia, Pulkit has really kind of become more organised as well. But just to give you a sense of how disorganised he was at uni, and I must apologise because I did tell Pulkit before, I think like 3 years ago, that I'd tell this story at his wedding, and he told me to not tell it, but I'm going to tell it anyways. But practically back at uni, you couldn't put Pulkit and clean in the same sentence. And just one example of that is once his parents actually went on a trip, I think overseas, so Pulkit had the house to himself for a couple of weeks. And basically back then, Yeah, no. So this is how the mess actually happened. So during the week, Pulkit didn't actually believe in cleaning dishes. So what he'd do is he'd like eat his dinner and then put the dishes into his bathtub and soak it. So then he actually then invited us over, like all the friends over for barbecue one day. And I was like, hey, Pulkit, I'm done with my plates. What do I do with them? And he goes, just chuck it in the toilet, like in a bathtub. So then I like go in, open the door, and I just see him like bent over the bathtub with a wooden spatula stirring. And I was like, what are you doing? And he goes, I'm imitating a dishwasher. So, you know, so he's really come a very long way. And I think, you know, we've all got Dia to thank for that. And here are just a few more examples of Dia being super organised. I asked Dia once for Singapore tips, and she sent me a 3-page document called Singapore Tips and Tricks by Dia, just to make sure that no one, you know, misreads it as like random tips. It's like actually Dia's tips on Singapore. Next slide.
And so because of Dia, we've seen Pulkit's Romeo, his romantic side. I'll admit, a few of us thought he may have douchebag vibes as well at the start. But truly, he's really shown how romantic he can be. And here you can see the proposal. This is at UNSW where they first met. You know, it's truly amazing how much you've grown and changed into the Romeo of our generation, Pulkit.
Oh yeah, and this is just another one to embarrass Pulkit a bit more about how romantic he is. So he always talks about how much he, you know, goes home and talks to Dia and just really love this girl. Just thought it belonged in the wedding slides.
And one last romantic anecdote. This is from about a month ago when Pulkit, so this was before the latest wave of COVID, and it looked like we were all going to go back to work and no longer work from home. And Pulkit was complaining about going back to work. He was like, I just don't get it, Bav. He says, I don't understand the excitement to get back to working in person at the office. Why would you want to spend so much of your time with your colleagues when you can spend your days with the person you love the most? And so whilst I was holding back tears, I also felt sorry for your former colleagues. Dia and Pulkit, you make each other so happy, you bring out the best in one another, and you support each other through tough times. The kindness, compassion, and consideration you show each other and those around you is admirable. Since you two have met, you've grown into this beautiful, compassionate couple. I'm truly excited for this next chapter in your lives. I look forward to receiving many more selfies over the years as you travel the world together and continue to be the bedrock of support and joy for one another as husband and wife.
And Pulkit and Dia, I'm so glad that I'm your friend. It's been amazing watching you two grow, and thank you, Dia, for coming to Pulkit's life because, as you heard, the bathtub story. And I wish you all the best in London. I'm sure you'll have a great time. And we'll do a quick toast.
Yeah, to Dia and Pulkit. And before we get to the dance floor, we wanted to share a video to inspire you. It's only 16 seconds. No context.
How do you play it? Say it again.
Yeah, if it's on. Excited to see more of this tonight, Pulkit.
And so now for our final toast of the evening, none other than our beautiful bride and handsome groom, Dia and Pulkit. Come on down.
Okay, thanks for that, Bav and Ching. I really appreciate it. Can we get one more round of applause for Bav and Ching, please?
And the other speech makers.
And the other speech makers, yes, of course. I'll remember this for your weddings. I think for those who know us well, you'd agree that PowerPoints hold a very special place in Dia and my relationship. So here today, we aim to deliver the piece de résistance, the PowerPoint of all PowerPoints, our wedding speech. And we'll, of course, begin with a round of thank yous.
First of all, thank you to all of you for joining us on this whirlwind of a wedding day. Thank you especially to everyone who's travelled such a long way, overcoming quarantine, countless COVID tests, and so much else to celebrate with us, especially to my Auntie Anita, who travelled to us from New Zealand, is now stuck at our home and doesn't know when she'll actually be able to go back home. We love you. Thank you to Cassandra Mohit and the wonderful staff here at Dalton House for looking after us tonight. And thank you to all of our wedding suppliers over the last week. Russell and team for capturing every second. Amanda and Adam for the photo booth, please. A reminder, make good use of it. Neetha for styling our events. And DJ AJ for getting us grooving very soon.
And a special thank you to our to Belinda, who's our cousin and a very special supplier, for making the beautiful signage. She's got a business on Etsy, so check her out. Check the business out. Check the business out. And for eagerly lending us her 3 lovely sons as page boys. Thank you, Will, Tommy, and Lukey, for being so handsome and for behaving like such gentlemen most of the time. Yes, okay. And to all our friends and family who've played a special part in our wedding, genuinely thank you. Thank you, Sean, for your excellent emceeing, and thank you for admitting that I am your real favorite.
Thank you to the incredible Nuptial Mass Choir for giving us such an amazing performance and music at our ceremony and putting so many countless hours into the practice. Thank you again to all of our speech makers for your equal parts loving words and ruthless roasting. I wish I was able to vet some of those speeches before they came up, but you guys have outdone yourselves and you've made tonight special. Thank you.
Thank you to my groomside squad for all the check-ins and asking how I'm doing. Sorry about all the late replies. I was probably very busy trying to calm my bride down.
And to my bride tribe, thank you for listening to all the ups and downs of wedding planning during a pandemic, for my beautiful hens weekend, for ensuring I'm well fed throughout the entire week, and most importantly, for your years of friendship and love.
Thank you to our extended families who've given us a pakka Goan and Punjabi wedding, especially to both our Mamu and Mamis for your generous hospitality, for letting us use your houses, thank you for all the constant hospitality, the generosity, and the love. And to those whose travel plans were thwarted by the pandemonium. It's a terrible joke. Thank you for your constant support over WhatsApp, FaceTime, and Zoom. To our families and friends in US, India, New Zealand, Singapore, Portugal, Canada, and Belgium, thank you for your help planning this wedding and for listening to us rant and for giving us your international blessings. We can't wait to celebrate soon with you in person.
As my mum mentioned, in both the Goan and Punjabi cultures, a wedding isn't just about the couple or their parents or friends, it's about the entire village. And our village hasn't been defined by geography or even kin, and it looks slightly different than it did in the old days. But we're so grateful to you, our friends and family, our villagers, for raising us, praying for us, and loving us. Auntie and Uncle. You have been asking me to stop calling you that for over a year now, so tonight that is exactly what I will do. Finally, to my new mum and dad. Thank you for welcoming me. Finally, I made you wait long enough. Thank you for welcoming me into your family, for cooking dal makhani every time I come over, and for surrounding me with so much love over this crazy wedding week and always. Thank you for raising Pulkit to be the most kind-hearted, loving and considerate person I could hope to call my husband. I will be forever grateful to you. I promise I will look after and love him well, which I know means listening to him rant about his latest new obsession every day, whether it be F1, electric bikes, which is today's one, or football. And Somya, I've always dreamt of having a little sister, and but for the fact that you're at least 4 inches taller than me, I couldn't have asked for a more beautiful, loving, passionate sister-in-law. I promise to support and love you in every way I can, including gossiping about aesthetics and feminism forever.
Mum and Dad, thank you for all that you do and for the love and encouragement that you continue to provide. Mum, you've been my rock growing up and have been by my side through thick and thin. I may have given you more than my fair share of naughtiness, and for that I apologize, but I'd like to think that it helped us forge a deeper bond. I sometimes reminisce of our hangout sessions, watching old Hindi movies and cheekily eating pizza together, and they're some of my fondest memories from my childhood and ones I'll cherish forever. Dad, you've been the most amazing provider of love, of life lessons, and of respect. I want you to know that you're my role model for what a good son and an even greater brother looks like, and I can only hope to live up to it one day. You've always supported me with my choices and continue to go above and beyond to guide me along the right path. Mum and Dad, thank you for raising me in such a caring home filled with love and laughter. You've molded me into the man I am today, and for that I am eternally grateful. I know it must be very hard coming to terms with the fact that you raised such a perfect son. Oh, and sorry, I almost forgot. I have a sister, her name's Somya, and that's probably enough about her. No, I'm kidding. Somya, I feel grateful to have the opportunity to watch you evolve into such a young, such an amazing young woman. And you surprise me every day with your creativity and wit. I feel blessed to have a default best friend, one that I can share my feelings and thoughts with and call at any time. I'm so glad that our childhood squabbles have now evolved into 90% love and 10% bickering. Okay. To my new mum and dad, you've welcomed me with open arms into your family, and I've always felt at ease around you. You might even say too much at ease at the start. Thank you for your acceptance, support, and for raising such a wonderful daughter. You should know that I have meant every vow that I said today, and will spend every minute of every day trying to make Dia as happy as she makes me. Mum, this morning's amazing and detailed nuptial ceremony was a small example of just how much you love and care for Dia on her big day, and I promise to continue to show her the same care that you have in our journey together. Dad, thank you for instilling the best values in her. It's really made her the woman she is today, and I look forward to years of eavesdropping on your conversations with Dia, talking about the latest podcasts or discussing the various existential threats to the human race that you both love discussing. You both have raised her to be kind and gentle and with the sharpest mind, and I couldn't have asked for more. Thank you.
Mama and Dada. For 28 years, we have been the three amigos. We've conquered 3 countries, lots of schools, and many holidays together, and we've made priceless memories along the way. Mama, thank you for loving me like nothing else matters, even if you put me in constant fear that your heart is on the verge of bursting, like right now. Please smile. Thank you for altering all 256 of my wedding outfits with such incredible love and care. Dada, when Pulkit asked permission to marry me, you told him I'm both your son and your daughter, your commitment extending to teaching me to play rugby in our backyard, although I still question whether either of us actually know how to play any rugby. Mama, the 6 a.m. piano practices have turned into after-work gossip calls. And Dada, the practice exam reviews have turned into sharing lots of useless but interesting information gathered from around the internet. I owe you both everything I am. And there are no words adequate enough to say thank you. So instead, I'll say I love you completely and forever. Today, don't cry. Today, we add a 4th amigo. And I only hope the marriage Pulkit and I build is as special as the one you've modelled for me.
The surprise. Okay, so in preparation for our wedding, we assessed our compatibility using the "What would Seema Tapadia from Mumbai say?" approach and compared our biodatas. We concluded the following.
Number 1. Ladka tall hai. When I can't reach the top shelf, Pulkit will do it for me. Tick.
Number 2. दोनों लड़के लड़के पढ़े लिखे हैं. लड़की लड़की पढ़े लिखे हैं. I can always count on Dia to educate me on the current affairs and history, and in return, I educate her on everything technology. Tick.
Number 3. Ye jodi kafi jamegi. See, I've learnt, touch wood. I've learnt my Hindi. We're sure this marriage will bring lots of surprise and adventures and challenges along the way, but with all your love and blessings, I hope, we're ready. And to you, Pulkit. Today I admit for the very first time that I do indeed love you more than cheese and chocolate. Most of the time. You're my rock, my partner in crime, and my best friend. Since you've given me the opportunity to walk down the aisle today, not just once, but twice, I promise to sit and listen patiently to you talking about laptops, CPU, RAM, processors, and other things that I don't really understand for the rest of my life. For those of you who don't know, Pulkit's name means happy in Hindi. And Pulkit, you really live up to it. Your perennial joy and silliness is infectious, and you've made me laugh through some of my most challenging times. I know that with you, regardless of what's happening around us, COVID be damned, we'll be happy. Still, I'm sure everyone here can join me in hoping for less once-in-100-year pandemics. And I hope for more time with all of you, our beautiful friends and family. Pulkit, I can't wait to grow old with you and laugh forever with, and most importantly, at you. I love you.
So as you can see, that was quite nice. And that's not, I didn't get that memo. Okay. A little more about Dia, aka Moturam. So for those who don't understand Moturam just means fat man. And I'll tell you why. Again, I didn't realize that this was meant to be nice. This is the roast of Dia. So, Dia, aka Moturam. Employing the great consulting mindset of reusing slides and structures, I too have gone for the exact same format, and some may call it lazy, and I'd probably agree. So, Dia, things I love less. Oh boy, this was a big list. But I would probably start with number 1, which is the constant planning. In our home, we have a schedule, and on this schedule, there is time alone, where neither of us is obliged to spend time with the other. Number 2, the hairballs everywhere. I don't know for certain, but I'm fairly sure Dia makes a conscious effort to leave hairballs, a few strands of hair everywhere on each piece of furniture, seat, or appliance. I think it's almost a deliberate tactic to make sure like she remembers and she reminds me of her presence. And number 3, losing my bathroom. Once a place of peace and serenity for a person to enjoy the ultimate time alone, it is now a place cluttered with hundreds, if not thousands, of different types of moisturizers, beauty items, scented candles, and things I cannot even pronounce. And so now every time I sit on my throne, all I can see is the desolation and ruin of my kingdom. Okay, it was at this point of the speech that I realized I was having way too much fun, and this is meant to be a wedding speech, and so I thought, better add some nice things. So here are some nice things. They are the same things that once annoyed me, and the things I loved less are now the things I love most about you, and truly make me appreciate how amazing you really are. For example, your constant planning now means that we are ultra efficient, and we get to all our appointments on time, or even ahead of time. For example, this reception, which is running surprisingly on schedule for an Indian wedding. Number 2, on the tough days when things just aren't going my way, I can always count on looking at the TV and wondering just how your hair got on that TV. But then it makes me realize how lucky I am to have you in my life.
I think.
And finally, although I hate to admit it, your obsession with skincare does have its benefits. It's a photo of us doing a face mask. And me continuing to do multiple face masks. Okay, so reasons that you're great. I promise this is close to the end. Okay, so it may not be very clear, but the eagle-eyed of you would see that there is a cross out of the less, and it just goes from great to super great. Because after being with this girl for the last 5 years, I can truly say there is nothing that is less great about you. So, the reasons that you're great: you're the cutest Moturam baby I have ever seen. From a very young age, I could see that you had an immaculate sense of fashion and hairstyle. You have an incredibly cheeky yet infectious smile, which always picks me up. You're always challenging me, and this is the next 2. And sometimes that challenge is just to love you. And finally, your incredibly beautiful brain and your ability to think with your head. It's a photo of Dia with a bag on her head. My wish for us is very simple. Okay? I want less quarantine and less lockdowns. I want you to continue to model how not to look cool in photos. And I want a lifetime of happiness with my best friend. Dia, I love you.
Aww.
And that brings me to the conclusion of speech time. Please eat, drink, and dance to your heart's content. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome Mr. and Mrs. Dia and Pulkit to the dance floor for their first dance as husband and wife. Once they're done, please join the dance floor to party the night away. Ladies and gentlemen, Dia and Pulkit. Yeah, Pulkit and Dia. Let's go.
Let's get old together. Let's be unhappy
forever. 'Cause there's no one else in this world that I'd rather be unhappy with. Let's be exposed and unprotected. Let's see one another when we're weak. Let's go our separate ways in the night like two moths, but know that you're flying home to me. I was born thinking it would all be dreaming, but I know that I wouldn't be happy that way. You wear me out with frustration and heartache and anger, but we wait for the wave just to wash it away. Don't say nothing, just sit next to me. Don't say nothing. Shh. Just be, just be, just be.
Hey, you got what I want, it's Sony. मिठी गल्लां करके तू ना जा छड़ के. Hey, I think about it every day. Baby looking like Khana Khazana on a plate. Hey, like mithai, like kulfi, rasmalai. Pista barfi, sardiyan vich garmi lagdi. Jad vi tu mere raah vichon chaldi. Yeah, lab vich mere kolo langdi. Throw it back and bubble up in front of me. Everybody trying to figure out your recipe. I'm just trying to get a piece. Baby, I know that you wanna get crazy. Shorty, take it slow, then chitty. Hey, baby, let me see it. I just wanna eat it. Baby, let me see it. No, I really need it. Oh, baby, let me see it. I just wanna eat it. I know the things that you like.
Alrighty, everybody, it's time for everyone to join in on the dance floor. Leave everything behind and come on down.
Yeah, hey, tell me how you feel. Looking like a movie star, doing it for reals. Looking like a snack, looking like a whole meal. Gucci and Chanel with your red bottom heels. Ice drip like Bonnie, burn ja tu meri rani. Shawty bad, she my divani mastani. Light it up, I'm living every day like it's Diwali. Young Tesha, young Shah Rukh, I'm at every party. And you got what I want, it's Sony, yeah. मिठी गल्लां करके तू ना जा छड़ के. रब तो मैं मंगा तेरा प्यार हानी, yeah, girl. You know what I'ma say. Hey, baby, let me see it. Jalebi, baby. I just wanna eat it. Jalebi, baby. Baby, let me see it. Jalebi, baby. Oh, I really need it. Jalebi. Oh, baby, let me see it. Jalebi, baby. I just wanna eat it. Jalebi. I know all the things that you like.
बेबी है तेरी चाल बैकलेस सूट विच लगदी कमाल ओ किथे चली जांदी है ओ किथे चली जांदी है तेनू पुछना है इको ही सवाल ओ दस दे कुवारी आया किसे दे तू नाल क्यों दूरों दूरों जानी है जान कड जानी है इन्हें भी नखरे तू